Hey, all right. We are live and hello everybody out there. Welcome to this week's episode of the Fairy News Network, FNN. And you are here tonight with myself, Fairy Princess Lolly, Gunther Hammerhands, famous Dana the Bog, and Count Morbid. And we are expecting Ion the Leprechaun to be on the way, as well as Lumina O Wisp, but both of them are slightly delayed. So thank you for joining us. My goodness, what is that hideous sound in the background there, Count Morbid?
Like children, I have a cryptid infesting my manor tonight. A small mythical creature that. Where are you still like kids again? Bring me that thing. Bring me that thing. Good. Bring me the thing. Oh.
Are you sure it's a cryptid and not perhaps a small servant in training? Whoa.
Come here. Come here. Get in the camera frame, you. Oh, yeah, here. Shoot. Wait. Okay. Yes. Where did you get a dragon? Jeez. You said to bring something for show and tell.
So you brought your wares for the goblin market.
Okay. There we go. It's gonna be. Whoa. It might be bedtime for dragons.
Okay,
I broke the dragon. I'm sorry.
You broke the dragon. That's not good. Okay, so I just want to first say thank you to one of the Fairyblossom Fairy Market merchants this evening. Magical Alley will be joining us in the Fairy Market, and they are a master wand maker, purveyor of magic wands. Not dissimilar to this one, a thing that you might find that you need when you go on the Dungeon Crawl Forest quest in order to retrieve gold for the Fairy King and Queen, because somebody stole it.
Oh,
but
no.
We'll come back.
Oh, no.
It wasn't me.
We will. I'm sure it wasn't.
I don't know. He looks a bit suspicious.
I don't know. He lives in that nice big manor. I don't know.
Why do you look so suspicious? Yes. Good night, dragon.
There we are.
I always look suspicious. Okay.
That is what I was looking for. Okay. So on to our articles for this evening. So week before last week, we all decided that we were going to keep our eye out for news about strange cryptozoology. And I'd like to thank you guys, because you really did a pretty good job of coming up with a whole host of articles, which I appreciate. I'm just trying to find my way to the right place where those are. Oh dear. I do despise slow computer things. And I am opening up these articles here. I have saved them all. I was trying to be ahead of myself and prepared on time. And I mean, to be fair, it was only 10 minutes late, right? What?
I said my mother says I'm not slow. I'm just slow.
I am always behind. I don't mean to be. It's just, I don't know.
You arrive exactly when you intend to, right?
Human time and myself, we clash. We don't get along. I work very, very hard, though.
Differently in the fairy realm.
Oh, that's a lovely cap that you have, Count Morbid. I expect you to. I expect you to do voices.
Rawr. I am Ecom the Undying Dragon.
Rawr, 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 rawr. That's what I want to hear you do. Okay, where's my Inception? I don't even know. I just pulled them up. And so I'm just going to click on one and let's see. We want...
Pull the lever, Kronk.
What?
Wrong lever.
No, wait, come back. I want this and I want... Oh my goodness, really? Okay. I'm sorry that my laptop is slow. I wish it wasn't. And okay, can you guys see it?
Mythical animals that turned out to be real. Oh my goodness.
This one was sent to us by Count Morbid.
Yes,
Can you see it?
People thought they were made up because some of them just sounded so ridiculous.
Oh my goodness. I'm trying to get this to... There we go. That's what I want. How does that look? Did you guys get Inception?
Yeah, it's Inception.
It's Inception. Is it Inception now?
It was Inception before.
Oh, was it?
Now it's just an article.
Now it's just
okay. So, cryptozoology, for those of you who don't know, is the study of creatures whose existence is rumored but unproven. You guys are all kind of tired tonight, it seems like. Unfamiliar with the term? Well, Loch Ness Monster, Bigfoot, El Chupacabra, and Yeti.
Don't forget the Yeti.
Yeti is sort of the Himalayan version of Bigfoot.
Did someone say spaghetti?
No, but spaghetti does sound really good, I confess. With the advancement, what?
Yeti are associated with snow and winter, so they might be the unseelie Bigfoot.
Maybe they're just sort of like mountain trolls, but they're like snowy mountain Bigfoots.
No, they're mountain trolls. They just haven't shaved their legs in a while.
Yes, that's what happens when Gunther lets himself go.
Get the back hair, it all turns white. It's really nasty.
I'll pass on that visual imagery. Not touching it. Okay, so, but with the advancement of science and technology, not all cryptids have remained in the realm of hearsay. Here are 5 animals that were initially considered suspect, but were later proven to exist in real life. I really wish one of them was the Loch Ness Monster, but I don't think that it is. So don't write off the Jersey Devil or Mothman. Really? A Komodo dragon. That's a Komodo dragon in that picture, by the way. Hard to overlook an 8-foot-long, 100-pound reptile, right? Well, yes, actually, if you don't know where to look. So let's see. Rumors of an enormous prehistoric lizard roaming a remote Indonesian island were just that, rumors, until 1910. At the time, Lieutenant Steen van Hensbroek, a Dutch colonial official, decided to check things out for himself. He put together, do you guys secretly sit there and correct me when I make mistakes and I'm reading out loud and it's sort of like you're reading over my shoulder and then I make a mistake and you're like, that's not what it says.
No, but you do secretly correct us when we say, oh, it is.
How, you guys were really quick to answer that question. I don't think I really believe you.
The princess is always right.
Yes, and you are never sarcastic.
No, never sarcastic.
Let's see. Okay. So some dude wasn't satisfied. In 1926, he went to his friends I just skipped a little bit, at the American Museum of Natural History and proposed an expedition to the remote, rocky, dangerous island to capture and bring back 2 large live specimens to New York City. Oh,
sounds like
alive.
Hold
on. That's like a redundancy right there. He wanted to bring live specimens alive. I mean, yes.
Kill them dead. Kill them extra dead.
Is this where we start correcting the writer's grammar again?
I can't help it. Does somebody else want to read?
No, go ahead. By all means, because you're still correcting if somebody else read.
It's probably true. I can't help it. It's so annoying. It's way. It's annoying when it's supposed to be a professional article. I can't help it. Okay, after a lot of hit and miss, let's see. In the end of the expedition, they were able to compile several dead and 2 live Komodo dragons. Wow, they killed a bunch of them. How do you just? I wonder how they killed them, or how did they get a bunch of dead ones? That's what I want to know. I guess
Well, it's possible that they weren't dead when they left. You know, when you have a creature that you've never seen before, you might not know the proper care and feeding.
Surely they could have determined it was a giant lizard or something, or
what could have happened is all
reptile.
These Komodo dragons could have been on the boat and tried to put on a coup because they didn't want to be taken, so they had to shoot their way out. You know, or wrestle them. You know what I'm saying? So that's why there's a bunch of dead Komodo dragons.
Sounds strangely like the plot of a movie. I don't know. Animals on a boat.
Who put all these effing Komodo dragons on my yacht?
You have a yacht? Are you sure
sure
you're not the one who stole all the fairy gold?
I mean,
how big is this yacht of yours?
I don't even know what a yacht is.
It's just a little dinghy.
Like
all he has is a dinghy.
That, you know what? Not touching it.
Wow.
Not touching it.
He's trying to get me to clean the yacht. And I said, this isn't a ship. It's just a little boat.
Okay. So I guess that Komodo dragons are real. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for watching.
Don't get bit by one.
Thank you for watching. Good night.
Rodents of unusual size, I don't think they exist.
I mean, I think they do. There is such a thing as a rat king, you know.
Oof.
Well, it happens when rats live in huge colonies or nests where they are overcrowded. And of course, they breed prolifically, and they sort of breed themselves in this space that's too small. And because it's too small, they're always crawling around and over each other, and their tails become knotted together, and then that's how they live. They're stuck together in multiple rats with their tails in a knot that they can't undo, and then that's how they live. And they call that phenomena a rat king.
This sounds like
it's
painful, and I don't want to tell now.
Well, no, but I think it's particularly interesting because in the Nutcracker, there is the Rat King at the beginning that the Nutcracker and his Nutcracker soldiers, his toy soldiers, fight. And in the ballet, what?
Never seen it.
You never seen the Nutcracker?
You
never even read the Nutcracker?
There's a book.
I'm surprised you've even heard of books in general.
Right. I'm still learning English. Unless it's written in runic, I don't think there's a translation.
So yes, and in the Nutcracker, the Rat King has 7 heads. Now they don't show 7 rats being tied together by their tails, but if you were to imagine that there were 7 rats, tied together by their tails, all of their heads would be facing outwards, right? So it would be a rat. It would look like a rat with all these appendages and 7 heads. And so I think that it's kind of cool to know that there's actually a thing that happens to give rise to the Rat King in the Nutcracker.
Are you telling me there's a mutant rat in the Nutcracker? I still want to the Nutcracker.
Yes, there's a mutant rat in the Nutcracker.
I will now read that book.
I think that's where some cryptids came from, which is somebody basically like a game of telephone where people were describing.
Here we go. Okay. Platypus. It's a duck. It's an otter. It's a beaver. It's a platypus. Look at the platypus. Really? Look. Yes. If you didn't know better, you might suspect it was the result of someone's Photoshop skills. I suppose you might. Let's see.
Before they have Photoshop.
Somebody thought that it was the product of a talented Chinese taxidermist, and it wasn't until years later that the platypus's existence was definitely confirmed and accepted. Whoa, that's a cool one. I'm skipping to that one. Look at that picture. It's called an okapi. Have you ever heard of an okapi?
It looks like a deer with a zebra bum.
I played Zoo Tycoon when I was a kid.
I guess it sort of does. I was thinking horse, but I guess you're right. It's more like a deer with a zebra neck and legs. And
Zebra bum. Go ahead, say it.
Okay, the okapi. It blends elements of the zebra, donkey, deer, and antelope. Although genetically it is most related to the giraffe. Well, that would make sense because its legs look really, really tall. While you can find the okapi in many zoos, I've never even seen one of those zoos today. They are rare in the wild, calling the Ituri forest, a dense and remote forest in Central Africa, home. I've never even heard of that forest either. The indigenous peoples of Central Africa were well aware, of course, of the okapi, even though it was primarily through what the okapi left behind, droppings and hoofprints, rather than direct contact. But the quiet, solitary creatures easily evaded Europeans to be all and end all of early scientific classification. Who believed the okapi was just a myth, an African unicorn? I mean, if that thing can exist.
If I saw a drawing of that, like in a fantasy book, or if I saw it in a cartoon, I would definitely believe it was made up.
Right? It's so pretty, though. I think it's really pretty.
Like there was a cartoon called Avatar: The Last Airbender, and in that world they had a lot of mashup characters, like a monkey and a bat were mashed together, and that
or an owl and an antelope, with horns or something. Okay.
Yes, and that looks like something that was mashed together for a cartoon.
It totally does. Let's see. What else? What? A gorilla used to be mythical.
Until only about 100 years ago, yes.
Wow. It does seem hard to believe. Let's see. Let's see, it's not so hard to imagine your own skepticism if you were regaled with tales about giant, hairy, savage man beasts with bad tempers. Right, I would think they were talking about trolls, for example, living in the wilds of some faraway place. Let's see.
I ain't got bad temper. What are you trying to say?
I was just reading the article.
Oh, sorry.
And let's see. So it went for Westerners for a long, long time. Some attribute the first sighting of a gorilla by a non-native to a Greek explorer, Hanno, in the 5th century BC. Although today scientists believe he is probably witnessing chimpanzees or baboons called gorillae, as it happened, by his interpreters. Another explorer, Andrew Battelle, told tales of human-like monsters visiting his camp's fire every morning after the humans left for the day, although he pointed out that the apes didn't know enough to put more wood on the fire. But gorillas themselves remained obscure and poorly understood until 1847. Wow, that really isn't that long ago.
I'm also poorly misunderstood.
Are you saying that you're an ape?
No, just misunderstood. Also, apparently the dragon is watching this upstairs for bedtime, so go to bed, dragon.
Go to bed, dragon. Good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite.
And if they do, bite it back.
I feel like we should read the dragon a bedtime story, but I don't have any nearby. Okay, so yes, everybody knows that the spice must flow.
Yeah.
that is, right? That's a Shai Halud.
No, I think that's a mermaid.
A mermaid. A manatee. It is well known, we think, that the mermaids of ancient mythology were likely inspired by sightings of manatees. Even Christopher Columbus was duped, writing in, how do you get a humanoid face out of that with long flowing tresses that sings beautiful songs to lure sailors and ships to the craggy rocks?
Fairy Princess Lolly,
yes?
I assure you, when you've been at sea for 3 months, your standards of beauty change. That if you've been at sea for like 6 or 7 months,
it doesn't even look like it has eyeballs. It just looks like it's got sort of these weird eye sockets.
You have unrealistic beauty standards for manatees.
They do leave an interesting wake when they swim at the surface. So I don't know. The water could have been churning.
It says that they are known to perform tail stands in shallow water, which would allow them to rise vertically out of the sea. Their joined forelimbs allow the manatee to hold objects and bring food directly to their mouths as well as swim. It's entirely possible that from far, far, far away, a manatee may look like a human treading water.
Maybe they also had seaweed stuck in their hair and it looked like long flowing green locks.
Yeah.
I could see it looking like a human if it was wearing a muumuu.
At that distance, I don't even think that you could make out the color green. It would just be sort of a shadowy thing on the horizon.
So I read another story where it was like, Christopher Columbus or whatever, and they're spotting a manatee, and the sailor saying, "I swore I saw a mermaid," and then it cuts away to a bunch of mermaids hiding behind the manatee.
Yeah, they're all just.
Yeah, like they're basically a sailor saw a mermaid. He wants to show the mermaid to his crewmates. But like the mermaid pulls up a manatee and just holds it in front of them.
I mean,
like, nope, manatee.
If you were to show the mermaid to your crewmates, don't you think that then they would want all the attention of the mermaid? Gunther, do you know that you're sitting half off the screen? Can you just scoot over a little to your left? I think it's your left. Yeah.
Nope, I guess he can't.
Just scoot a little. There.
Are you trying to get me to center? Because I
am. I am. I'm having a moment of your asymmetry is.
Do you want to clean my room too? Then
it looks really clean to me.
Yes, it does.
I wonder how that happened, right? Somebody must have been taking care of it.
Oh, one of the commenters mentioned
That's probably Fairy Princess Lolly.
In addition to the long sea voyage, there might have been rum involved for the sailors.
Not much else to do, I suppose, when you're out.
What?
Yes. Hello and welcome to everybody out there. Please remember to hit the like button and share if you can. We really appreciate that.
What
so
do you do with a drunken sailor?
Okay. Early in the morning.
Yes.
You throw him in the something with the captain's daughter.
Buy the manatee a drink? I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, this one looks cool. I want to do this one. Okay. I'm gonna find my screen sharing again. So we'll do this one, and then did you guys all get the event calendar, or is that I still don't see Ion or Lumina?
I'm in now.
Oh hey, welcome Lumina.
I still don't see Lumina
because I'm dark today.
Yeah,
it's also because he's bloody blind.
Well, that could be it too. Although I'm still trying to get my camera to work, right?
By the way, that's a lovely blouse you're wearing, Lumina.
Thank you. I was in a rather dark mood today. It's been a long day.
Uh-oh.
He only told you that so you could tell him it's a lovely blouse he's wearing as well.
I already know.
Oh, I missed it. I missed the opportunity, sadly.
Oh, I already know I've got this all going on.
All right, are we ready?
Let's do this.
Let's do this. This is the one. Okay, so do you guys get Inception when I do this right now?
No.
No, you do not have Inception. That's awesome. Hey, I'm getting better at doing screen shares. Congratulate me.
Congratulations.
Do you have Inception now?
No.
I see a gargoyle. Oh,
Maybe.
no, that's a troll now.
You just see this. Yay. Oh, that's cool. Yes. Bizarre modern encounters with real gargoyles. I think, Gunther, you sent this one, right?
Yeah, I said like 20. I was bored.
I thought you couldn't read unless it was written in runic.
Why do you think I had famous Dana sit there and read them to me? Yeah?
So all across the world, stone demons perched atop dizzying heights to stare out across the countryside below in silent, frozen stares of contemplation, and which they are collectively known as gargoyles. The term gargoyle is thought to come from the name of a monster in the 7th century called oh, look, it's a French word, la gargouille. I guess that's how it would be pronounced. I don't know. Gargouille.
It's like literally with a garg. Gargouille.
So, which was said to terrorize the country of France in the region of the Seine River, before being righteously slain by Saint Romanus, the Archbishop of Rhone.
Righteously slain.
Righteously.
As opposed to unrighteously, he was more like the Bill and Ted righteous slave. Yeah.
I guess they were not being excellent to each other back then. Upon the mighty beast's death, the lore has it that its head was supposedly mounted on a church to keep other monsters at bay. And from here grew the tradition of crafting the likeness of grotesque demons out of stone in order to serve as protectors or guardians of important places. It turned into quite an architectural phenomena. La 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 la. I'm just gonna skip all the, unless you guys really want to hear like the history, from I guess the days of Saint Romain, head of Romain. Saint salad, Saint Romain salad, and Romanus. There, that's it. I couldn't remember what I was. I don't know.
That's awesome.
Okay, so let's see. In more modern times, there have been sightings of what are often compared by witnesses as being distinctively like the stone gargoyles of centuries past, only living, and they seem to come out of the past. They seem to come out past the fringe of the bizarre, mostly described as winged, hunched over, gruesome abominations that are hard to really categorize. One report, like what?
So like me.
Well, you don't have wings, and you're not hunched over. You're not a gruesome abomination. You should be kind to yourself.
We're related.
One report from 2004, so that is 15 years ago, I guess, comes from the site Phantoms and Monsters and concerns a witness in the Bluefield, West Virginia, who had an encounter with just such a monstrosity when he was a child. He describes the area as being mostly quaint, rural farmland, and he says one day he had a very frightening experience when he was playing near a hedge, separating separating his house and the neighbors.
So it's like hedge going to be our trigger word from now on.
Well, things on the other side of the hedge, they do get magical and strange and weird, right?
I mean,
that sounds like a shameless plug for something.
I couldn't imagine what. I mean, like, maybe Fairyblossom Festival?
Never heard of it.
That's on the other side of the hedge, yeah?
I have plans then.
Okay. I was sitting there in broad sunny daylight as opposed to broad gloomy daylight when all of a sudden I saw a rustling in the hedges. I looked over and out. And out popped out what I can only put into words as a gargoyle. It looked at me with solid, pointed black eyes. It had frog green skin. Its face looked like a frog, except it had teeth and ears, and I'll never forget it the rest of my life. Its ears flexed outward like two big green gloves on the side of its head, like the king of the gargoyles, like the king that the gargoyles and statues has. I have no clue what that means. Its body was shaped like a bulldog, and its webbed feet were turned inward as it walked. Once it saw me, it paused and opened its mouth wide open and hissed. He held it wide open as if to taste the air. Did you know that cats, when they make that funny face where they just sit there with their mouth partially open, they'll smell something, for example, and it smells really strange to them or bad, and then they just sort of sit there with their mouth open, like, ew.
I've done that.
I mean, the rest of us don't have 6 cats, so I don't think we were very interested in finding that out.
No, but what I'm saying is cats, when they do that, when they sit there with their mouth just partially open like that after smelling something, it's because they have extra scent glands on the roof of their mouth, and yeah. they are smelling extra. It's like enhanced smell for them. So they smell it and they're like, I don't know, turn on enhanced smell, and then they open their mouth and just leave it open, like they're breathing.
There's a word for that, like screen or something.
So like when I open my mouth like that, it's usually because I smelled something and it made me hungry. So.
When I open my mouth like that, it's usually because I smelled something that makes me want to barf. Okay.
There's that scent organ is called the Jacobson's organ, apparently.
How do you know that?
He's got a book.
Google.
The modern Oracle of Delphi.
The modern Oracle of Delphi. Yes, I see. Of course. Why did I not know that? So, let's see. I was completely paralyzed. I tried to cry for help, but nothing came out. And as if someone took the pause button off of me, I fled so fast to my home that I don't even remember the race getting there. I was in a panic. I tried to describe it to my mom. She pointed at the animal Childcraft books and said, "See if you can show mommy a picture of the animal." The closest animal that I could find that looked like what I saw was a koala bear. But I only picked that animal out because it had similar black pointed eyes. My mother laughed and said, "Son, those animals are only in Australia. What you probably saw was a dog, and with that, it was never spoken of again."
So, like the way that cat described this thing, it sounded like a frog, a big pit bull, and he goes, "Hey, Mom, let me tell you about this thing." It's like, well, look at this book and show me what you. He didn't pick a dog. He didn't pick a frog. He picked a koala. I think there was a little bit of the, you know what I'm saying, involved in it. Just saying.
I think you need one of those monster books where you have the different flaps, and you can turn the flaps to make different monsters.
Oh, there you go.
I thought you were
it's like
just Hope and Spirit guy.
Do we need to get a cryptozoologist, like, you know, a freaking a sketch artist involved in?
See, if it was in West Virginia, it was probably Mothman.
In the hedge?
I mean,
well, he's usually sitting on bridges.
What is Mothman supposed to even look like? Just a giant,
like a giant moth.
Like your favorite things?
He's like a giant gargoyle humanoid with wings.
What did they say the gargoyle ears looked like?
Yeah, like that.
No, they said the hedge creatures. Yeah.
I'm thinking they look kind of like those ears. Yeah.
Are they ancient ancestors of yours, Count Morbid?
My family was adventuresome.
What you think is actually sitting next to him right now? You think those are statues? Oh no, friends.
That must have been one Friday night party, let me tell you.
Wow. Your friends are stoned, man.
What, you mean these guys?
Did you say his friends were stoned? Is that what you just said?
We're fine here. Thank you for asking.
Oh my gosh. Lumina, you and I had the same idea.
Oh,
yay!
by the way, thank you to Countess Poppet for lending me her decorations and gargoyles today.
Poppy Renault.
Poppy. Countess Poppy, yes.
Poppy no.
You feel free to go ahead and say that to her. I don't know. If you thought Count Morbid was weird and creepy.
Yeah,
I didn't
I'm
know.
a nice one. I'm a delightful.
Yes, super
actually,
delightful.
To be honest, Famous Dana actually creeps me out more than Count Morbid does.
Because I'm magic.
Okay, because you're magic. I will confess, you do make things happen really super magically. I mean, if we look away, suddenly whole things get made and places magically clean themselves. I don't even know how that happens.
Yeah.
So
she's a go-getter.
She knows. She's like, yeah, I know.
Oh, you should see when he goes, oh my gosh, I can't find this. Oh my gosh. Isn't it right in that thing right there? And he's like, oh my gosh, it is. You are magic.
I don't understand why you take inventory of my stuff.
Somebody
Like,
needs to.
I don't know. Eye on the Leprechaun is really good like that. He knows where stuff is all the time.
I still don't understand.
Well, like when you and I are at fair, I do the same thing, but that's not because I took inventory. It's because I put it there.
I still don't understand why Princess Lolly needed locks of my hair and a vial of my blood.
Because well, if you start turning pink, you'll understand why then.
And
I thought it
glittery.
was just in case.
But I confess to nothing. I'm innocent.
Until proven guilty.
That's right. Of many, many things. Okay, so I am going to go over take a little pause here from the articles and go do the rundown of the upcoming events for roughly the next month, even though my list here, I think, goes beyond the next month. I could be wrong about that. No, it doesn't, actually. Oh, cool. Okay, wow, there's a lot of events coming up. So, Ion the Leprechaun was going to do it with me, but he has not managed to get in. I think he may be having similar, just be having slow problems. So with his computery, human technology, sciencey stuff. So, starting at the top, Kentucky Highland Renaissance Festival is June 1st through July 14th. Wow, that's many, many weeks. That's 6 weeks of festival, and that is in Eminence, Kentucky. The Pirate Invasion of Belmont Pier is June 29th and the 30th, and that is in Long Beach, Washington. That's at the same time as Fairyblossom Festival. That's too bad. Otherwise, we could have maybe crashed that party. That would have been fun. Shenanigans all the way. Bonnie Lake Fantasy Fair, and that is in Lacey, Washington, June 22nd and 23rd. The New York Fairy Festival is in Harpersville, New York, on June 28th through the 30th. The East Idaho Renaissance Fair is in Rexburg, Idaho, June 21st through July 6th. That seems like 3 weeks maybe? So the West Virginia Renaissance Festival is in Lewisburg, West Virginia, June 9th to July 1st. Midsummer Night's Eve Fairy and Mermaid Festival.
Mermaids!
This is in Fresno, California, and it is June 22nd. And then we have, yes. I was going to say, I thought that this one was not happening anymore, but I could be wrong. I may be thinking of the Maryland Fairy Festival. Summer Solstice Fairy Festival at Spoutwood Farm, and that is in, I stapled it together. That is in Baltimore, Maryland, and that's June 22nd and 23rd. And then of course we have the Fairyblossom Festival. Actually, there's two on here. All's Fair is happening this coming weekend, and I believe that is in Tacoma, Washington, and that is a medieval fantasy fair. And then Fairyblossom Festival, that's our festival, yay! That is happening not this weekend, but next weekend, June 28th through the 30th, and that is in PL, Washington at Red Hawk Avalon. Yes, I command it. You must be at.
Well, if it's an order now, I don't want to go.
Well,
Wait,
if you don't go, no gobs for you.
That's next weekend?
No, the weekend after next weekend, the 28th. Look, there's this right here. See? Do you see this right here? It says at the top, because these are not runic letters, I'm going to read it for you. June 28th through the 30th, 2019.
Well, that's nice. I don't know how to count either.
Yes, well, it's in 2 weekends, and you better be there. I'm telling the Fairy King that you're the one who took all the gold.
You can tell whatever you want.
That was a super sized poster.
I was the one that found his crown last year when it was stolen. So no, he owes me.
You were? You found the Fairy King's crown last year? I don't remember that.
Treason.
I did, and I also got it off the freaking bloody tent.
Tent?
Yes.
Who
it was
stole
on the
it?
court. It was on the court tent. Remember, it was put way up in the top, and nobody else could see it there. And because Gunther is just so tall and huge, he was able to see it. And he went up and reached, and he's got those long arms, and was able to grab and pull it down and go, "Here, Fairy Princess Lally said I should give this to you."
You don't think it's suspicious that it's also the only one tall enough to put it there, do you?
No.
Hold on.
Exactly.
You hold on. I have to clarify what Famous Dana said. Can I just please? You found the Fairy King's crown, and then you gave it to the Fairy King and said that it was because I said you should give it back to him.
You were right.
Is that actually what you said?
I always say I do things because Fairy Princess Lily said to do them. That way I don't get in trouble.
Yeah, but if you said that, that's really good. And I didn't know that. I mean, that sort of means I owe you.
Well, maybe you do.
I thought you were right there too.
No, she was wandering around doing Fairy Princess Lily things.
You know.
Because I seem to remember the troll. Where's my troll? Where's my troll? I need my troll. Make my troll do it.
It's just like that when she does it too. The little,
no, I do not. I do not.
Not at all.
Okay, fine.
Not at all.
If that is true and you did that, then I'm definitely gonna make sure that the king remembers that he owes you a favor. I mean, they are offering
because you know what? Maybe I did.
500 dross reward for whoever captures the gold thief. And I'm just gonna tell you that I really hope Team Sealy brings their Brainiac caps, because right now the Unseelie Court are coming out in force. There are so many more Unseelie right now than there are Sealy. Everybody thinks that the Sealy.
You know what that is, right? Because Festival was next weekend, not the following weekend.
I think it's because people think that the Sealy are no fun.
Clearly, they're wrong. I have tons of fun. Thank you very much.
Well, I know. And we went out and had all kinds of shenanigans, not you and I, but Ion the Leprechaun and I, all kinds of shenanigans last weekend at the carnival, and that was pretty fun. So,
well,
yeah,
people can join the Sealy side if they like overwhelming odds and You know, if they're feeling especially heroic and like lost causes, they can join.
No, you know what it was? Is that the unseelie side realized they had gunfire.
Shut up, Count Morbid.
No.
Well, I'm saying there are people who like, you know,
The underdog.
causes.
Underdog.
No.
Yeah, I'll just have you know that the vast majority of people that are organizing all of the games at Fairy Blossom are not unseelie, which is probably some sort of weird point of pride for you guys. You're probably over there going like, ha 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 ha, we made the Seelie do all the work. Ha, 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 ha.
Well, yes, if
Well,
the
you know,
Seelie are the ones who made the games, the Seelie are then honor bound not to participate in them, thus removing their strongest people.
You know, unseelie talking a bunch of smack is how they end up frozen in the middle of a field somewhere.
Oh. I
By the
mean,
way, that sled was very heavy when I pulled it out of that snowfield. I'm just saying.
These are quick eating cheeseburgers.
okay. Did you guys bring items for show and tell?
Indeed.
I'm really excited to do show and tell this.
I had a dragon, but he went to bed.
I had a thing that I was. I had a thing.
Just go into the next room and pick something for you, Lolly. You got like
No, I
everything
mean
in the book.
I have things. I have things. Okay. Who wants to go first? I'm not going first. Who wants to go first? Famous Dana, you want to go first? Go.
Okay, I'll go first because you insisted.
Yes.
The thing that I like to bring to the Fairy Blossom Festival with me is this little genius contraption that has got a loop on one side and it's got a loop on the other side, and you hang your cup on the end so you can take your cup everywhere you need to go and drink.
That's my frog.
It is not. I gave it to you.
It is called a frog. Yes.
It is called a frog.
Frogs are definitely an event essential. I agree and have several of them.
It's important to stay hydrated while you're out having a lot of fun. So keeping a cup with you is like an amazing idea. But if you're not wearing a belt, you can't really put a frog on your belt.
You can, because if you have anything like laces like this, you can put a frog through there. You can put a frog through a buttonhole if you have something that has buttonholes on it. You can strap it on. You can anything that you can get that strap through or around.
Strap.
One of my main jobs for Fairy Princess Lolly is to be her handbag.
Oh,
I'm
That's
Fairy
right.
Princess.
Not a
I'm
punching
her
bag?
pocket at events.
He's just my traveling pockets.
Yes.
That's where everything goes.
Here, Morbid, carry this. Yeah.
Oh, she does that to me too. It's not just
I don't really need him to do it. I just like to boss him around.
But now it's like, hey Gunther, pick up Morbid and carry him along, right?
okay. Yeah.
I turned you guys up, and suddenly you were very loud in my ear.
It's like,
know.
Okay, Gunther, your turn. Go. Show us your event essentials. What do you think is absolutely necessary at an event?
Like, do you want sharp or not?
Oh, what?
Well, normally I always have this on me to make sure I can cut your steak for you, but that's not essential for events. That's just essential when I'm around you. This, though, has become very essential because during wild hunts, trolls trample princesses if they can't see in the dark.
Well, what is it?
It is a torch bone. It's not up. See, I've had it with me for a week or forever now.
Turn it off and on again. Oh, I
Okay,
see
hang on.
now. When you hold your hand over, you can see it glowing.
Gunther, can you turn off the light in your room?
I mean, yeah. Hang on. Well,
I had to explain how light switches work to Gunther.
Oh, uh-oh.
that must have gone over well.
Yeah.
yeah.
That looks cool.
Ooh,
See? Oh, sparkly and oh, it's glowy and And you know what else I use it for?
Wait,
Don't
hold
hit
it,
the
hold,
gun.
hold it close
Hitting
again.
loud and stinging folks over the head.
No, hold it close again. But be still. No, turn it sideways. There, so we can see how it's done. So it's got the little rice lights all wrapped around it. That's a cool light. Yes, lights definitely are essential, especially if you have to use the Biffy in the middle of the night. That is, I think everybody has probably experienced that. All right, Lumina, your turn. Go. What do you have for event essentials this evening?
Obviously, a mug. And this is the coolest one that I just picked up at the Oregon Renaissance Fair. And
so
touching on...
Oh, sorry.
Then,
go ahead.
And then touching on light, and actually touching on what must go in the mug. If you're an adult, of course, something that's brown and liquid in a glass bottle is always very nice.
Yes, it is.
But I also have some lights that are kind of cool. And let me see if I can get this to come on by turning off the lights by my desk. These stick into the ground, so they're flat by the flaps of my tent. So I can always find my way guided in to my tent with these guys.
Count Morbid is actually quite good about bringing cool solar. You always get cool solar stuff that you.
Yes. Because the lights you can carry around, and then there's the lights you want around your encampment and stuff. So you
Exactly.
Can find
I
your way
actually
home.
have some nice dragonfly-shaped lights that are solar as well, and I just picked up some circular lights that are solar-powered. That'll be hanging around my booth as well, because I'm a will-o'-the-wisp, so I need to have some light, even though I'm in a dark mood today.
Yes, but if you're in a dark mood, then that means that when you glow, it's that much brighter.
Indeed.
See what I did right there? I just took that frown and turned it upside down.
That was about so corny.
Actually, so basically it is Lumina's mug that would go on Famous Dana's frog.
Yes, frog. Yes.
Yep.
That is my frog. She took it.
I gave it to you in the first place, so it's not considered taking.
That's called a
Oh,
boggin.
idiot giving is what it's called. Boggin.
Are you going to be selling frogs at the fairy market, Lumina?
Ooh, had not thought about it, but that is a good idea. I may be having to make a run over to the House of Tandy for some rivets and snaps.
I mean, they don't seem like they would be that difficult to come up with.
I don't think so. This is a good idea.
You may even do them in Sealy and unsealy colors.
Ooh, I actually have some colored leather.
That's a good idea.
Ooh,
Oh, and the other thing, of course, are the very cool dragon eyes. Ooh, trying to get it where it can be seen.
There it is. Lower.
That's spooky. It's
That's
like
the eye of
looking at me.
Sauron.
It's looking at me. Gotta look right back at it.
I've been making lots of little tiny ones the last couple of days, so they're as small as these. I like the way they look.
Cool.
All right, Count Morbid, your turn. What is your event essential that you have brought to show and tell with the rest of the class today?
Well, like you said, we all believe in lights. And I was going to say, I actually saw some green and purple solar lights the other day. But for Fairyblossom, what I believe to be essential is weaponry.
Oh
my gosh. That is automated?
Yes, bring it. Well, this one is, but this belongs to the dragon.
Aha.
But any kind of Nerf blaster or weaponry, and I believe some people will have their foam swords and boffer weapons as well. Basically, I believe you should be able to destroy your enemies in the name of friendship while at Fairyblossom.
Meat.
Actually, I don't know that destroying your enemies in the name of friendship with nerf is what is on the schedule. The game master has there is need for that though, because there's the fairy meat nerf wars, and the game master has actually done a really amazing job of putting together a bunch of different styles of
Battle
games.
scenarios.
Yes, a bunch of different battle scenarios. I'm really excited to see pictures of the barricades, Gunther. I want to see what they look like that you're building.
I got a pink one.
with all the stuff over them, the cool netting and whatnot. But yeah, so there's
on the pink one.
I think there's 3 sessions on 3 sessions on Saturday and 2 on Sunday for different Nerf battle games.
Very neat wars.
So, yes.
There's also a rumor. I mean that there's a rumor that one of the quests might involve Nerf, but those will be supplied. You don't need your own for the quest.
Yes, that is true. One of the forest quests does involve shooting things in some way, shape, or form. So,
I mean, I don't know anything about anything though.
Yes, I agree. For once, we agree with each other.
I'm dim.
That's no lie.
Yeah.
Okay, so is it my turn?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Oh, geez. Don't get so excited, guys.
Well,
Wow.
I thought Lolly.
It's just Lolly's turn. Yeah.
So what do
Well,
you have as camp essentials?
Minions.
Show.
Well, okay, so this is one of the things I have, which is a drinking horn, and this is my tulip drinking horn. So I guess that Lumina and I were sort of on the same idea with you have to have whatever your cup is for doing the drinking. And this one, it's got a leather hook here so that it hangs over your belt here.
That
This
is
one,
very cool.
thanks. It was actually special made for me. I don't know if you know who Virginia is, but she often would work or be hanging out with Harley Quinn or Matthew Van Zee, the magician. And her nephew would make these, but they looked like dragon scale. Like this was all dragon scales. And then the green part didn't really exist. It would just be kind of this horn that looked like dragon scales. And I was admiring them one year at Canterbury, actually. And then when I saw her again at the next year, she gifted me with this that he made especially for me because he doesn't really do, foo-foo things. So that's what I was told. So, but it's very important. Did you know that they made horns like this without a way to set them down? That way you could not accidentally set your drink down and have it be poisoned while you weren't watching it, but were instead.
Do you realize how offended I am that you're drinking out of a horn?
I'm drinking out of a tulip. I can drink out of a tulip cup. I do what I want.
I drink out of a horn, she says. It's a tulip horn.
It's not a troll horn.
I mean, how many fae with horns had to suffer so you can drink during festival?
No, it's a tulip. And by the way, what do you have to be offended about? It's not like you get to have the monopoly on who can drink out of a horn. Speaking of horns, though, there
Did you have a drinking horn?
What?
Do I have a drinking horn?
Well, I don't know, but if you don't, you can go to Greenfire Goods. They're going to be in the fairy market, and you can get a drinking horn from them.
Nice segue.
By the way,
Oh yeah.
A quick recap of essentials. The recap
I have one more.
Is...
I have one more. I brought 2.
Well, I guess you're very prepared
Princess.
then, Fairy Princess Dolly.
You may proceed.
For Fairyblossom, gotta have a D10.
So you can throw them at your enemies?
It is essential. Well, I guess if you can't manage to use this to win any fairy coin, then yeah, throw it at your enemy. No, don't throw it at your enemy. These are hard and it would hurt to get hit by one.
That's the point.
Count Morbid, where did you go?
He got hit by one.
My battery is batterying.
Okay, so go ahead. Well, you were going to say recap.
Oh, yes. To recap,
I love that
essentials, lights, drinking, and weapons.
And
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And adult beverages. But that's for the evening.
I'm probably just going to be stuck rolling these forever because they're very tactile and I like to have them in my hands.
Actually, I did think of another essential on account of my device here starting to fade. Portable batteries. Portable batteries are a terribly good idea for when you're stuck in the woods.
Or potted meat.
And some method of shade.
Very important. You got to eat.
Sunscreen.
Bums.
That's
Unicorn meat.
That looks so good. I'm hungry now.
I have wet wipes that are like essential for washing stuff and cleaning stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
I ever have.
those are very good. That's true.
Oh,
Band-Aids.
Fairy Princess Lala, you know it's really delicious?
Not until you tell me.
Fairy.
He says boogers.
What?
Fairies are delicious.
No, they're not.
You know?
That is.
Then why are we having a fairy meat war?
That's a vicious lie.
It's fake news.
Oh.
Dun, 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 dun.
That was good. That was good. Okay. Shall we go back then? Now on to looking at our. Okay, I'm gonna do a little review of what we have here in the queue. Okay, we already did gargoyles. Hey, have any of you ever? So you know how like this person described they were a little kid, they were at the hedge, and something came out of the hedge. Have you ever seen anything like that, or paranormal, or have you seen weird, strange creatures?
It came out of the head sounds like a great title for a book about fairy blossom.
Are you talking into a giraffe?
No.
You lean forward like the giraffe was a microphone.
I don't know what you mean.
He knows what you mean. He's such a fibber.
Gentlemen from the Sealy, please ask or answer the question.
Is this thing on? Okay.
Have I seen anything? Yeah, I've seen things.
All right, does the gentleman cede the floor? Hey, if you want to get all courtly, you know, and pomp and circumstance and things. Okay, what have you seen, Gunther? I heard you say that.
Oh no. Well, yeah. So when Gunther was short, could have been some time ago, I would imagine. He had a bunch of friends who liked exploring places they probably shouldn't be exploring in, and so we were out in, I guess, a desert-ish area at the time, and out in this area were a series of silver mines. Now, they tell you when you're young not to go play in silver mines because you could die, or there's rattlesnakes or whatever.
Up in the mountains you must have been, or something. I don't know. Where do you find silver mines?
You can actually find them around the outskirts of the city of Sin, believe it or not. I was visiting relatives at the time. So anyway, they have abandoned mines through that whole area, and you have rattlesnakes down there. You think collapse, bad air, everything. So of course we see these PSAs, and we're like, hey, what would be a good idea? Let's go check out this mine because we're kids. And we're like, we're not gonna die. They're just being adults. So we go down there, and we have flashlights. And so the weird thing is that you don't actually see a thing so much as you hear it, and there's a shadow movement that shouldn't be there.
So you saw a Tommyknocker.
Right. You can hear it go through the place. You swear you saw something out of the corner of your eye. You turn your head, nothing's there.
Did you know that a Norwegian mine fairy is called a gruvra, and they're actually tall, slender women that have something of a strict Victorian look to them.
Ooh!
Do you know where Gunther's from?
I want one.
Count Morbid suddenly is planning a trip to Norway. He's going to go try to find his heart's true love.
That is, they're not very far from where I grew up.
The mines.
Norway.
Mm. So I one time saw. Well, I one time saw what I think was a red cap lurking about. I used to, when I was a wee young fae, play in the front room, and it had a large window, like this. And one time I looked out the window, and rushing by the window went a thing in red. And I got up and I asked whether or not anybody had seen it, and everybody said no. But I swear it was there. What?
I saw Santa Claus once.
Really?
I could have
Was he at
sworn
the
I
mall?
did,
Yeah.
yeah. No, it wasn't this last Christmas at the Storybook Land. No, I swear to God, it happened.
Hey, you guys! Speaking of Santa Claus hanging out in the mall, guess what?
What?
Well, I know which mall Santa Claus is gonna be in this season, and I think we should go. I think we should go storm Santa Claus.
Bah humbug.
I don't know. The last time we went and saw a Santa Claus, I ended
No.
up sitting on his feet
No,
to
not
get a picture.
Santa Claus. The Santa Claus.
Did
And
you
I
live
know
in
where
the
he's gonna
oddball?
be. I know where he's gonna be,
Is it
and he would
oddball?
love it. He would love it. I know he would. If we all went and surprised him, I think we should do fairy shenanigans.
Hmm.
I mean, come on. He is the jolly old elf.
He is.
So sometime, I think, between late November and then Christmas time. And I know where he's gonna be. Taking pictures. I don't know. What do you think? Should we plan it?
I mean, we could. I
I'm-
took pictures
Yes,
of
I
him
mean,
last-
imagine just we could invite everybody. It's in Portland. And so it's kind of central, and we should just invite everybody. Can you imagine how many could we get squished into one single picture with Santa Claus? Maybe it could be
I
a
never
Guinness
taken pictures of
Guinness
Santa.
Book of World Records, right?
Ooh.
Most fairies in a Santa Claus picture ever.
I mean, could be. Do
Oh,
you remember last time we tried to take a picture of me with Santa? I had to actually tilt myself over to get into the freaking frame.
yes. But this is not that Santa. I don't know what his chair will look like. So,
I'm
but
in. You know I'm in.
for all I know, he's watching right now because Santa sort of has strange big brother like powers, where he's always watching you, which is
Sounds like a
awkward.
True.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I am.
He
I'm
knows
gonna-
if you've been bad or good, Morbid.
No, he doesn't. Morbid's never good.
Everybody knows
He
that.
only knows that Morbid's just bad.
Everyone already knows the answer to that. That's
And
not
it does
secret
look
to
like you are.
anyone.
It does look like you're speaking into the giraffe. It's
See?
what.
I noticed these things.
Are you
Okay,
saying
I will-
Ryan?
Well, because since we've been planning different shenanigans, right? Like the Bigfoot Festival, the Oregon Bigfoot Convention, Oregon Bigfoot Festival.
Isn't that at Long Beach? I can't remember where that one was.
There's
I
more than
can't
one.
remember where it was either because I just looked at it a while back, but it's not too far is I guess what I'm getting at. It's not too far away from Portland. So the city of
There's
roses.
also one of those usually in White Salmon, I would think, or Carson, which is in the Columbia River Gorge.
Troutdale. It's in Troutdale.
The Oregon Bigfoot Festival is at the Columbia River Highway in Troutdale. Yep, I looked it up and found it.
And then, so I think that we should all go to that one and do shenanigans there because that would be pretty fun.
I would have been really surprised if it was in white salmon.
What?
Are you going to dress me as a Sasquatch so we can have our own Sasquatch?
No.
All right.
Somebody might try to hunt you.
Ooh, that would be sad.
I mean,
Would it?
they can try.
Morbid. I heard
That's
that.
it.
Okay. Wow, I kind of derailed there a little bit for a minute, huh? Sorry about that, guys. Let's see.
The train keeps moving.
Okay, so this one isn't exactly a cryptozoology one, but I do think it's sort of cool. So I'm going to, I don't know, you guys can tell me if you think it's dumb or not, but I think that you will appreciate it.
Inception.
And woo! Dun, dun, dun. There it is.
Oh no, not more Japanese sea creature crap. No. I am so tired of you showing these Asian things that look like weirdos from a freaking cartoon thing that is like sold at a flea market.
Well, why? What difference does it make to you?
I support Fairy Princess Lolly and her choices.
That's only because it ignores me.
Yes.
Japanese company creates sea creature tea bags that come alive inside your cup.
I meant to send that link to you. Those are so cool.
See, shut up, Gunther. See, Lumina thinks they're cool.
I don't like tea.
Well, that's your problem.
Well, you know what? If you're going to learn how to be a proper noble, you'd better learn how to fake it. He's out. Serious business, buddy. Serious business.
It's nap time for Gunther.
Gunther's learning how to fake it.
Hey, he wanted to, take noble classes.
I earned it. I didn't want to.
So there's nothing more enjoyable. See, it says right in this article, and as you know, if it's on the internet, it must be true. And there's nothing more enjoyable than a delicious cup of tea after a long day. Maybe you should try one right now, Gunther, and show us your expert pinky out. Hashtag.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that the tea business and culture is absolutely booming, the traditional design of the tea bag has not changed for many years. Bloody, bloody, blah. Anyway, this is the Ocean Tea Bag. The brand Ocean Tea Bag has teamed up with an oddity shop as well as a bookstore, Village Vanguard, to create a series of animal-themed tea bags. So look at that tea bag. Isn't that cool? It looks like an octopus. And I bet when it gets wet, then it's all like, okay, wait.
It changes color in the water.
Oh, that's cool. So these, what is Morbid laughing at? These
Himself.
These original tea bags include jellyfish, octopus, what's an isopod, and even a few land animals such as a tanuki. I thought a tanuki was a raccoon suit.
It sounds like a
no, Super Mario. Tanuki Mario, isn't that a thing?
Yeah, it's the frog one, right?
Basically, there's something in Japan that is essentially like a raccoon puka.
And it's called a tanuki. That's cute. A raccoon puka. That's cute. Called a tanuki. I want to see one of those. Okay. Once added to the cup, the tea bags make it look like a creature is swimming in your tea. Now that's something definitely worth capturing. Man, I really want to put these in the Royal Dross boxes that I send out for the Patreon channel because they include tea bags, like a new type of tea with each one.
The Patreon.
You have a Patreon channel?
Yes.
Yeah, what are they doing this thing?
Hold on. You knew that, Count Morbid.
It was a setup. Where do you go to join the Patreon?
What?
Oh
You
my
heard of-
God. He was giving you a segue to a plug. Where do you join the Patreon at?
Oh, you join it at patreon.com/Fae Productions.
Oh,
Wow. I just forgot that he knew. And then I remembered.
we all know.
Well, I don't, I have every good reason to think that you guys often do not pay attention to me.
Sorry, what?
What?
No! Shut up.
I have no idea where you get that idea from.
I honestly don't know where you get that idea from.
Okay, look at this one. This one's cool. Is this one an isopod? What
It's
is
a
an
squid.
isopod?
I thought
That's
that
a
was
squid. Okay. Tea bags cost 1,820 yen, which is around $16.
Wow.
I thought that.
That sounds way more expensive than it really is.
Let's see.
That's a lot of yen.
That is so cool looking. I really want to get some of these. Oh my gosh.
That would be great for a mermaid.
Oh, look it.
Is
Butterfly pea chamomile tea.
That sounds like it put me to sleep.
It's a penguin, I think.
Yeah.
And this one is, what is that thing?
Or panda, I don't know.
Let's see. Tea bags, board planning, globe creating glowing tea bags.
That one looks
I
like
will-
will, okay, I will
looks like
drink tea if it glows in the dark.
Okay, that would be super cool to have at the Samhain Dumb Supper, right? Is to have
Yes.
glowing tea. Would you agree with that, Count Morbid?
Yes. I agree with Fairy Princess Lolly.
oh my god. It's the end of the world.
A dolphin. Oh, these are also adorable. Is this one an isopod? What's this one, you
No.
guys?
A shrimp? I don't know.
No, it isn't. You be quiet. What's the
Horseshoe crab.
That one gives me shivers. I don't know why. It's just,
Kind of cockroach looking, huh?
yeah. I don't like that one. That one can die.
There's a lot
Die in
of bugs
fire.
in the ocean.
It looks like a trilobite.
horseshoe crab.
Troglodyte? A trilobite.
Trilobite.
There we
Ancient
go.
insects that you find in fossil form now.
It does.
It also sort of
Yeah,
looks
look at that
like
bug.
it also sort of looks like a potato bug.
Kind of.
Do
I mean,
you mean that? What do they call them? They call them freaking roly polies.
Mhm,
yeah, the ones that roll up. If you touch them, they roll up.
Yeah.
And you can-
Roly polies.
mhm.
Potato bugs.
Hill bugs.
Why
No
would
bugs.
what? Why would they be potato bugs? They don't look like potatoes.
You look
Have
like
you-
a potato.
They like to eat potatoes,
Your
just
head
like
looks like a
you.
potato.
You're the only one that comes from the mountains, so I guess that makes sense why you don't call them the same thing as the rest of us.
That's fair.
I'm gonna have to get some of those. I don't know. They never have a link though for it. It's I don't know. I don't think there's a link in here. It's
I
just
think
like
it's Ward Panda. Is what it said.
Oh, wait.
WardPanda.com.
bags in their online shop. 50 unique types of tea bags. Oh, here we go. I wonder if there's- I mean,
So, Princess Lolly, are you going shopping with us again?
maybe. Oh, look, this must be the Tanuki. Okay, I'm gonna share with you guys again. Here we go.
Of course.
You were shopping with
It's
us
super
again. Yes.
adorable. Okay. This is it. Look at, isn't it cute?
That is.
That looks like a trash panda.
Sorry.
That yes, a Tanuki.
I don't need
So
that.
then look at the spider.
It's
Is it a
cross
spider or is it a king crab?
There's
that
one.
looks like my esophagus.
Jellyfish.
I got some really, really good tea for the next box that's coming up. I stumbled upon a tea place when I was out. I don't know what I was doing. Anywho, and I have to go back to get some tea there because they had one that was called Magic something or other. And it was tasty. It was maybe blueberry, and they made it iced for me, and so I had cream in it, and oh man, it was good stuff.
Well,
Let's see. Ew, this one is disgusting. This is the one I didn't like. Look at it. Ew, that's so gross. I hate it. It looks like you could see its guts.
Fairy Princess Ollie.
Yes.
What's the next article? Don't want to go shopping again. I don't want to carry the bags again.
You're so negative tonight. You don't want to do anything, and everything makes you mad. And you don't like all my weird Japanese creatures, and you don't want to do this. And na.
I know what his problem is, Fairy Princess Lolly. I haven't fed him yet, and I'm sorry.
Does he have a sliver or something? I mean, what's going on?
Yes,
Actually,
Gunther, don't be bitter and negative. That's my job.
I'm hangry.
That last one,
Hangry.
Baby Cthulhu.
He's angry.
I'm supposed to be bitter and unpleasant. That's my job.
Well, now you know that you can be replaced.
Okay, Rise and Fall and Rebirth of the Fairy Investigation Society, of which I am a member. Thank you very much. Or I Was Blinded by a Gnome. Did we do this one last time?
No. June 10th, 2019. I would think not.
Blinded by a gnome.
Oh no, because the last one was the last one was on June 5th, right? Okay.
Right.
Hello, Lon. I am attaching a 7-page article with images, which Fairy Princess Lolly is not going to read for everyone out loud, of an encounter I had with a quote-unquote gnome here in my property in Carlsbad, California. On July 16th, 2017, the encounter left me blind on my remaining good left eye. So now they're totally blind. Okay.
Does that mean they had 2 left eyes?
What?
That means they had 2 left eyes, right?
And no
On the
front teeth.
remaining left, yeah, on the remaining left eye, as opposed to both of the left eyes, yes. But no. Okay, so one of the items of proof that I can provide, if requested, is an evaluation done of my eyes by, and then the redacted names of the optometrists here in Carlsbad. The evaluation was done 4 days after my encounter with the gnome. Well, how does okay, I want to know how an evaluation with an optometrist verifies that they were blinded by a gnome, as opposed to
it verifies they're blinded, I suppose.
Yes, but the cause of which is that's the part that I'm not entirely. Okay,
Apparently, it's well documented that there's a flashing gnome going around.
Okay,
They're
Lon.
gonna remove the
I'm
little
guessing
red cap from the guy's eye. The gnome hat. The gnome hat was stuck in the eye.
Oh. Well, maybe it was like when you die and they say they can recapture the last thing you saw, and maybe they can do that when you go blind. And the last thing you saw was a gnome. So hot.
Really, they can do that?
They say they can. And
Have you ever seen Wild Wild West? They do it in that movie.
Did you just ask me if I've ever read a movie?
No, I said, have you ever seen it?
I thought you said, have you ever read Wild Wild West? They do it in the movie. I thought, we have different ways of observing those things. But want to see something cool? Oh, wait, I can't show you. Okay, wait. Want to see something cool?
Sure.
The answer, of course, is yes, because whether or not you do, I'm about to show you anyway. So,
I'm bitter and unpleasant.
This right here, this is my mermaid seeing stone. This is a piece of coral with a natural hole in the middle, just like a fairy seeing stone, which is a piece of stone that has a natural hole in the middle. That, when you look through it, it allows you to see the magical creatures in the water.
Very
But
cool.
I don't see any, probably because I'm not looking at water.
Probably.
But yes, isn't that cool? And
It
so that
is
one
really cool.
is attached there.
And a
that
pretty
was
blue ribbon to go with it.
Yes. That was a random aside. Okay, back to I was blinded by a gnome.
Wrapped up like a deuce.
And the runner in the
No. Poked in the eye, now my left eye is gone. Blinded by a gnome. No? Okay. Lon, I'm guessing by now that you can probably determine within seconds or minutes, that's what a weird thing to say, whether someone's story sounds true or not. I can assure you that what I describe in the article is true. Let me know if you need more info. Let me know if you need more info. Warm regards, AG. I have contacted AG, says presumably Lon. And we'll provide further information if, let's see, here's the statement. The story you're about to read is absolutely true, but I need to preface it with the following 3 points. 1, I was already visually impaired. Nobody knows. In both eyes from myopia and macular degeneration. I don't know what macular degeneration is. My good remaining left eye prior to the event I am about to describe was corrected with glasses to 20/20, allowing me to drive legally. After the event, I estimate that my vision deteriorated between 2100 and 2150 to 2150, although it has improved substantially since then. 2, I never actually saw the creature that blinded me, but for the reasons elucidated, I have elucidated. That, allow me to elucidate.
I don't think that word means what he thinks it means.
I have inferred that it is within the category of gnome. 3, as of December 11, 2018, I have determined that the gnome is still active in our yard here in Carlsbad, California. In late May, on to the story we go. Okay, wait, let me just skim this really fast because I'm not reading 25 million pages of gnome story. So, okay. Shush. In late May, whoever did that, I'm gonna stab you in the eye. In late May, early June 2017, I was doing my regular walk around the perimeter of our house looking for ants. In closely checking the ground outside the crawl space on the garage side of the house, I encountered a mysterious, perfectly round hole, approximately 1 3/4 inches, so 2 inches. That's like this big. Okay, that's tiny. Okay, so 1 3/4 inches in diameter with no nicks around its edges. See figure 1. What most struck me about it was the absence of any buildup of dirt around the hole. I was familiar with holes made by gophers and squirrels, and they always had a mound of dirt around them unless it was an old hole. Okay, so now we're going to look. This is the hole. Right there. I guess it does look rather perfect. So, let's see. It wasn't until several months later, while walking in a field full of gopher holes, I realized how unusual it was to find perfectly circular holes, with the only semblance of a perfectly circular hole perfectly being a hole that was full of nicks at its edges. Let's see. Forgot about it until they were working on the house. Let's see. They removed some gravel. They pulled back the sheeting to expose the ant nest. Let's see. So what do these arrows show us here? The gnome hole with dashed black arrows showing a bi-tunnel. So their claim is that underneath this is a tunnel. Let's see, I was struck with yet another anomaly. The hole was bi-tunneled with both tunnels running diametrically opposed to one another at 180 degrees. So I guess that's their claim. I can't really see that though in the picture. It's like just black arrows that show that.
Right, because you can't see under the dirt where the tunnels are because it's under the dirt.
Why should I believe that it's there? And couldn't they do something like take a video where they put something down into the hole, like a wire, and they put it down into the hole and thread it in? That way you can at least see that something's going there.
Maybe if they were like put a mouse in the hole with a camera on it, maybe, and let the mouse go scurrying around, then we could see it.
Do they make cameras that small?
I
then began pulling out roots that had grown underneath the sheeting, with one of the roots reaching all the way over. Let's see, pulled the roots. Let's see, a bee appeared. Let's see, unexpected behavior. Bee turned into astonishment when it followed me to the green dumpster cart on the other side of the yard. That's not actually that astonishing, because if there was a hive there and they disturbed the hive, bees will chase you a long way.
They'll stab you in the eye and make you blind.
They kind of, yeah, that seems, I don't know anybody that's ever been stung in the eye, but that actually seems like a possibility. So let's see, bees' behavior was highly unusual, somewhat alarming. This was only a prologue to what was about to happen. After dumping the roots into the green cart, let's see, the bee would incessantly sweep vertically in front of me from head to toe. It was obvious the bee was attempting to communicate something, and this is the second communication I have received from a bee. I remember standing outside, let's see, blah, blah, blah. Behavior of the bee reached incredibly alarming crescendo as I stood ready to pour the second bucket of water over the ant's nest. It was, let's see, let's see.
Bee was trying to communicate to leave it alone, but I could be wrong.
Well, the bee could have been doing something like that. I don't know. I'm not a bee expert. I guess it doesn't seem outside the realm of possibility if there was something down there. Let's see. I felt an eerie sense of gloom and foreboding. Something was terribly wrong. What in the world was the bee trying to convey to me? Should I read this with, like dramatic interpretation?
Or, sound like William Shatner. That works.
Like an automaton, I then went ahead and mindlessly poured the second bucket of boiling water, not imagining the consequences of what I was doing and of what was about to happen. And then the following morning, when I opened my eyes, my good remaining left eye had a blurred blind spot in its center field of vision. And I understood at that instant the message of the bee. I realized at that instant that the mysterious, perfectly circular hole had not been made by a gopher or squirrel, rat, or any known animal. Fortunately, I am well versed in the paranormal and suspected the hole had been made by what is commonly referred to as an elemental, fairy, nature spirit, and or a diminutive humanoid.
Or a drill bit.
Yes.
Piece of random wood.
What are those, no, what are those tools that, what?
An auger?
Ah, what, I don't know. What does an auger do?
Drills a hole.
In wood, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, that is.
Or stone, or ground, wherever you're using it.
Yeah. I think that's what the tool I was. Are you guys getting Inception right now?
Yep. No, I just see the screen that you're looking at.
Yeah, just
Okay.
your screen that you've shared.
Okay, cool. Oops. Okay, here we go. Let's see. I didn't know exactly what kind of creature I was dealing with. I was thinking of different mythical human-like creatures. Let's see. I remembered a strange case reported on the Coast to Coast AM C2C on September 6, 2017, of a little man gnome caught twice stealing fruit from an orchard in Florida. This occurred to me around 1947, and although the woman involved in the case had long died, one of the sheriffs involved was still alive. The little hairy bearded gnome was described as being no larger than a water bottle. Then I thought of the garden gnome statuette created by the German Philip Griebel in the 1800s, based on local myths. What was the basis of these myths? Okay, yada 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 yada. Let's see. I want to get to the part where they go. Let's see. Without an appointment, I frantically rushed to the office for I think I should say an evaluation of my eyes, and based on the results recommended that I did not drive, I continued to drive with great apprehension, relying solely on my peripheral vision. Oh, that sounds very safe. Not dangerous at all. Let's see.
I got a question. You said that they listen to Coast to Coast AM, right?
C2C, yes, Coast to Coast AM.
I have a stack of CDs of that recording.
Really? What is it?
It's a supernatural sort of radio show. Whether it's like conspiracy theories, aliens, Bigfoot, Mothman, Jersey Devil, Famous Dana. So it's like all those things.
I don't think that last one exists.
Hey,
Urkel.
Oh, she exists, my friend. She really exists.
Famous Dana is a conspiracy unto herself.
because
Well,
of
yeah.
magic.
I literally have a stack of discs right next to my bed of episodes of that show.
You want to know why I'm a conspiracy theory on that particular show?
Why is that, Famous Dana?
Because you got those discs from me.
I mean, that's kind of true. Yeah.
Huh. So it doesn't even say what the optometrist said, other than that it was recommended they not drive.
And yet they still do.
Yeah, let's see.
I would recommend it for some lithium, you know.
Let's see. Since realizing long ago that fairy-type creatures were real, I have been absolutely fascinated. Well, I mean, yes, because here we all are.
Right.
I've been absolutely fascinated with learning as much as I can about them. My fascination was such that in 2003, I bought the book The Elves of Lily Hill Farm by Penny Kelly, which I partly read and which is supposedly based on a true story. Note that I rarely buy books.
Usually they steal them.
I'm wow. Okay.
Or just go to the library and get them for free.
Well, I just think it's funny that this person. Yes. Okay. Nothing. Let's see. Let's see.
Excuse me. I'm sorry.
There is a belief among shamans that if you acknowledge nature, that nature will reciprocate and acknowledge you in one way or another. This acknowledgement of nature began in our household with the practice of leaving food and water out for wild animals. We did not always know what animals would be attracted, but living in a multidimensional reality, I suspected from the beginning that creatures from other dimensions might also be attracted.
I think I'm done.
Well, I can agree. I can agree with the whole if you acknowledge nature, nature will reciprocate, because I think there's a lot of, I mean, what does that mean if you acknowledge nature, right? And
Hi, tree. There you are. Smacking the head with a tree, you're dead.
or maybe it means that you are caring for a garden or something around you, and then it responds accordingly, like
So
it's acknowledging you.
So what you're saying is this fella acknowledged something it shouldn't have and made him blind.
Well, I don't know exactly. I sort of like the bee sting theory, to be honest, because whatever they had got worse and then it got better.
That sounds pretty legit.
That sounds like macular degeneration, though, because it does get better and worse, as I understand it.
Oh, what is it? Do you know?
It's part of the eye starts to just get icky. There's like wet macular degeneration where the person's eye is always weepy, and it's not a pretty thing to see. And they usually make you wear a eye patch when that's happening.
And what causes that? You're so smart, Lumina.
I know somebody who had it. Genetics, I guess. I mean, it's just something that happens sometimes. And sadly, the person who it happened to is a pilot, and that was why he doesn't fly anymore, because he got the clearance for landing at an airstrip, and he asked which landing, the left one or the right one, and they said, we only have one. So he didn't fly again after that flight. Kind of sad.
Didn't it get better for him, though?
No, not really. In the long run, I think that he's basically lost the vision in that eye now. So he's a one-eyed man. And he was a sailor, so I guess that would make him kind of be like a pirate, sort of.
Arr.
Yarr!
Well, you guys, guess what? It is 9:23, and we normally go till 9 o'clock. So, let's see. I have the Rise, Fall, and Rebirth of the Fairy Investigation Society, or we can just call it a night and say goodbye to everybody. It is up to you. What do you think?
We can save some for next time. The Lord knows.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, we got a lot of articles next time still too, yeah.
What are we going to do for next time?
Part 2
of Cryptozoology? No, it was words, the etymology of words or phrases like.
Yeah.
I can't read. I'm not going to be any good on that one.
You can too read. Quit saying that.
Princess Lolly, I am going to be recovering from an event then.
That's true. We will all be recovering from Fairyblossom Festival.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, that's kind of true. I don't know if I'll even be back yet.
Maybe we should make it then 3 weeks. Well, I guess that I'll just have to. I guess we'll know when I look at a calendar and then schedule the post. So that seems because that is a very good point. Fairyblossom, last year we weren't back. We were still out there for 3 days after the games ended. So
yeah, I came out on the 4th of July to help you.
Yep. Yes, you did. Which
I think there's also a holiday July 5th.
Oh, a what? Oh, yeah. Okay. So then there's that. Well, we have to at least have one before Canterbury because we're going to have a fun fairy soiree after.
We could still have them while Canterbury's going on too because they're not going to be active all week. And you know what?
That is true.
That's Fairy Princess Lolly stuff, and she's going to be right down the road. And so she can come over here and video from here if she wants.
I really want to go do shenanigans at the Enchanted Forest during Canterbury.
Ooh.
I know.
I wish I could.
I'm sure you can. My fingers are crossed. Oh my gosh, stop being such a negative Nelly. You know what? Did you ever think that Nelly hates that when people say that? Why is my name Negative Nelly?
What about poor Plain Jane?
Oh yeah, Plain Jane probably doesn't like it much either. I confess. All right, say goodbye to all of our viewers. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
We'll see you guys in a couple of weeks. Yes. And remember, check out Fairyblossom Festival. If you have any news articles for weird news or links or events to put onto the calendar, please send them to us. And all of our contact is in the low bar. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.